Though you wouldn't be entirely incorrect, you wouldn't be alone if you guessed sometime in the 1980s or 90s. The fact that a dashcam was utilized for the first time was first documented in 1939 might surprise you. Today, we will talk about 6 craziest police chases caught on dashcam. Nothing compares to seeing video of a police pursuit, all the thrill of an action movie, only in real life. Even if the popularity of these TV series has declined, there is still a sizable online fan base for this kind of material, with some videos receiving millions of views on YouTube. Before we get started, subscribe to our channel and like this video. Let's begin. Number 6. The driver was traveling in the wrong direction on the Los Angeles freeway. During a thrilling police pursuit on the Los Angeles freeway, a driver who was traveling in the wrong direction broke the norms of traffic, resulting in a spectacle that heart-pounding. On both the freeway and the surface streets, the motorist made a precarious maneuver by zigzagging recklessly and then veering onto the wrong side of the roadway. About 30 minutes later, the suspect arrived in the Buena Park neighborhood and proceeded to drive in the opposite direction on the shoulder of the expressway. Despite the fact that authorities were pursuing him, the guy got back behind the wheel and continued driving, headed toward Beach Boulevard. The suspect returned to Los Angeles County and left the county at the Cerritos Borough. A pickup truck was blocking the lane close to the intersection of Del Amo Boulevard and Winkler Avenue. Although he was involved in yet another standoff, the suspect was able to navigate around the pickup truck. The pursuit halted when it reached Lakewood, where it had been going for some time. The driver's side tires of the vehicle that was stolen were flat, which may have been caused by a spike strip. Near the intersection of Bloomfield Avenue and Del Amo Boulevard, the suspect came to a stop. The suspect refused to exit the vehicle despite the fact that the cops attempted to communicate with him. In the car, non-lethal bullets were fired, which resulted in the rear window being shattered. At long last, the suspect was apprehended and placed into custody. This chase, which was filled with adrenaline, highlighted the dangers that law enforcement officers confront while trying to protect the public. Number 5. There was a helicopter pursuit in Phoenix. In the sky over Phoenix, Arizona on July 27, 2007, 2 news helicopters were involved in a dramatic crash that took place in the middle of the air. This live police pursuit was being covered by these helicopters, which were belonging to the television stations KNXV-TV and KTVK. As the helicopters maneuvered in the skies, the occurrence took place during a broadcast, which captured the attention of the viewers during the program. Unfortunately, all 4 people who were on board, including pilots Craig Smith and Scott Bowerbank, as well as photographers Rick Krolek and Jim Cox, were killed in the accident. The crash occurred at 12:46 o'clock in the afternoon. Both helicopters went down in Steel Indian School Park, which is located in the middle of Phoenix, and both of them burst into flames. Surprisingly, there were no reports of injuries on the ground whatsoever. As a result of the ensuing inquiry conducted by the National Transportation Safety Board, it was discovered that both pilots had failed to notice and avoid each other, highlighting the significance of following the appropriate procedures when conducting electronic news collecting activities. The person who was being sought was not prosecuted with the deaths of the people who were inside the helicopter, despite the tragic event that occurred. The hazards that journalists and law enforcement officials confront in their pursuit of essential news coverage and public safety are brought into sharper focus by this tragic tragedy. Number 4. Get away on a motorcycle in Brazil. Without a doubt, a motorcycle rider narrowly avoided being hit by a car that was attempting to elude the authorities during a dramatic police pursuit that took place in Brazil. A video was taken documenting the fierce pursuit that took place on a road in the suburbs. During the course of the motorcyclists' adept maneuvering through traffic, the automobile of the fleeing suspect collided with 2 other vehicles. The high-stakes, exceptionally skillful riding of both the runner and the cop who was chasing them was on full display during a heart-stopping chase. After a while, the runner tumbled down a narrow pedestrian walkway, at which point he removed his helmet and surrendered to the law enforcement officer. Thankfully, nobody sustained significant injuries, but the pursuit, which was fueled by excitement, left all of us feeling relieved and out of breath. Number 3. Chase through an urban maze. A tumultuous turn of events occurs in the middle of the city as the pursuit continues. The vehicle driven by the suspect makes its way through a maze of tight lanes, with each curve posing a risk of scraping the sides of the vehicle. Its weight causes trash cans to collapse over and people scatter like birds that have been frightened. The chasing police vehicles, which are cumbersome and less agile, had a difficult time matching the daring of the culprit. When sirens begin to scream, adrenaline levels skyrocket, and the urban maze transforms into a battlefield. Officers are on the lookout for the next unexpected turn, their training and instincts being put to the ultimate test. There is a lot riding on the outcome of this cat and mouse game, and every single mistake could mean trouble for you. As the taillights of the suspect disappear around yet another turn, the officers grit their teeth, resolute in their pursuit of their evasive target amidst the pandemonium of the concrete jungle. Number 2. The yellow bus thief is brought to school by the police. The man who was driving a stolen school bus led the police on a chaotic high-speed chase that spanned 2 states and lasted for 80 miles before crashing in Indiana in the month of May in the year 2023. Every moment of the pursuit was captured on dashcam video. Not only did the bus not have any passengers on board, but it had also been stolen from Cincinnati, Ohio, according to the records filed by the police. As he drove recklessly on Interstate 74 for more than half an hour, the driver was being pursued by law enforcement officers from a number of different agencies. A curb was struck by the bus at one point, and it came dangerously close to tipping over. Nevertheless, the driver was able to regain control of the vehicle and continue driving. After a while, the bus ran off the road in a cornfield in Shelbyville and eventually came to a stop there. Number 1. In Florida, a high-speed off-road pursuit comes to an end with an arrest. The Florida Police Department was involved in a dangerous off-road pursuit that was led by a suspect in a real-life incident. On August 11, the Ocala Police Department engaged in a high-speed pursuit of a suspect in a vehicle theft. The occurrence, which was captured on dashcam and bodycam footage, took place during the pursuit. The pursuit went off the paved highways and into the rough terrain, giving both the police and the suspect the opportunity to test their driving abilities to their absolute limits. As the suspect made a last-ditch effort to avoid being apprehended, he drove the stolen car through difficult off-road conditions, causing clouds of dust and debris to be kicked up. When the police decided to use a K-9 officer, the pursuit became more intense. This officer was instrumental in the eventual capture of the offender, who was ultimately apprehended. It is a sobering reminder of the lengths that people would go to in order to avoid law enforcement, as well as the dangers that police officers confront on a regular basis, that this chase is taking place. A volatile situation was formed as a result of the mix of fast speeds, unexpected terrain, and the inherent dangers of a chase. This situation could have ended in a variety of different possibilities. Fortunately, the skilled response of the police officers brought the pursuit to a safe finish, demonstrating their commitment to public safety as well as their training. What's your thoughts on this video? If you love the video, must share it with others. See you next time.